For today's Build in Public podcast, I'm going to take two maybe opposing directions and see where they may converge by the end of this podcast. So we'll see. First thing I'm going to start with is just a little daily update. So, Tim Gonzalez, my partner in life, is a physics teacher, a high school physics teacher. And he is one of the smartest men I know, analytical, mathematical. When you think physics teacher and you have an image in your head, that is certainly who I am married to, 100%, in some ways, shapes, and forms. And what makes that so fascinating is that I started my career as an English teacher. And so when you think English teacher, you probably have an image. And if you've heard my podcast with me dressing as a tree in class, that certainly is true as well. The thing that we have in common is that we are both amazing teachers. And we are both very, very deep thinkers in different ways, but in important ways that transfer into the hearts and minds of young adults. And so what is so beautiful about Tim Gonzalez's ability to dig in deep is he has depth of understanding that is a lot of it locked and stored inside of his brain. Obviously, he teaches that every day to students. But in our world, what's been great is he's been on spring break this week. And not only do we have this very intellectual relationship where we're always studying something, and we also have our own very unique and different spiritual interests, but very different, where my spirituality at this point in my life is very much into the deep research around Tibetan Buddhism and different types of spiritual connections surfacing for myself, especially through the use of my meditation practices. And Tim's is very much through a Christian lens, and through a biblical scholar lens. And so this week, he has been studying deeply the book of Genesis, and in particular, deconstructing it and teaching himself Hebrew and studying it from a Hebrew perspective and going back into a bunch of um, Jewish scholars' works and Hebrew scholars and taking notes. He's got notebooks of notes. And in fact, he's out in the living room right now watching a History Channel show on the universe. And then I come in and I pause him and I say, "Oh my gosh, you're never gonna believe what happened." My I have a number 717 that has always been important to me. And Renee, my co-founder, has a number 111. And so she shared me her TikTok, and she had 111 followers and 717 views on her TikTok channel. And I walked in and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, look what the universe is sending my way." And you may think that these two diametrically opposing ideas or philosophies may be so far apart that they could cause us to be disconnected. But actually, what's the beauty of this is it's causing us to connect deeper, which is a really beautiful thing. And so, as I am beginning to really embrace this build in public, I am watching my soul journey, my soul growth journey, and his soul growth journey in very different ways begin to grow. On another note, I feel like in the past week, just this week, I really stretched myself. I had some difficult conversations that pushed me. I'm watching opportunities open up, and I've got some ideas for some workshops that I'm going to be launching. I'm creating more content regularly. I'm taking this podcast I'm putting it into Chat GPT. I'm turning it into content. I'm creating content on Twitter. I made a Twitter thread yesterday. I'm tweeting a lot more. So I'm really kind of immersing myself into that space. And somebody who helps early idea startup founders with um, a company that's like a creative studio reached out to me, and I'm having a meeting with her on Friday. So I just keep putting myself out there, creating this content, trusting the process, and allowing it to unfold. It's definitely a different lifestyle that I'm used to, and I'm learning to really embrace it, provide the structure I need for myself in my day to day, but I'm growing. I can feel my confidence growing. I can feel my clarity growing. I can feel my energy and focus being able to um, point me in the direction I need to be in flow state more often, more continually for longer periods of time. And so, for all of those reasons, I am so thankful for anyone who is along listening on this journey with me. And little by little, this Build in Public journey will continue to grow. Thanks for listening.